for being there, and thank you, my friend. How are you? Hi, hang on. How's everything going today? Folks, yesterday actually, yesterday I gave you the story of how I became the accidental gangster. Was it an accident or not? Once again, I leave that decision up to you. Today I want to talk about gangsters in Hollywood. I was not the first gangster here, folks, because gangsters go way back to the beginning of Hollywood. I bet you all don't remember Decca Records out of New York. It's where it began in the UK, okay? And then it became Universal Music Group. Well, you can go way back then, and all the old time gangsters were definitely involved in that there. My life as a gangster in Hollywood was really good. I gotta be honest, I enjoyed it. And one way to get more people in there the other night, uh, people were very slow to come to my shows. But it is what it is. So before I begin, I want to let you know that December 4th, I'll be interviewing a beautiful actress by the name of Elizabeth Hudson, who is now into, it's called Alchemy, and she'll explain that more. And then if you know Frank Grillo, if you watch Tulsa King, you will see Frank Grillo. Okay, he's one of the actors in there, just came in this season. Frank's been in over 100 movies, a great actor, a friend of mine, and I will be interviewing him. Right now he's in Atlanta filming Tulsa King, and then he's filming Superman, and then he'll be back here, but he and I are in touch, texting each other. Uh, I'll be interviewing George Gallo, writer, director of Midnight Run, uh, Bad Boys, Comeback Trail. How you doing, Squirrel Squad? Good to see you, my friend. Uh, and Nick Villanova, Oscar winner for Green Book. I got a lot of people in the entertainment business lined up beginning in January that I'm going to be interviewing. So I'll be taking a little part, doing my show a little bit differently, okay? And so let's rock. All right, folks, why are gangsters involved in so many different businesses? You think they are, but they're involved in the businesses that make money. You just see the thing with the gambling. They're all been involved in gambling since the beginning. All right? Lovejoy, how are you? You've caught me. Yeah, all our schedules change. We never know from day to day what we're going to do. I understand that. You've seen a lot of the mafia movies, and the best ones were happen to be written by friends of mine. Okay, Francis Ford Coppola, for example, did The Godfather. Well, he's represented by my lawyer. Okay, 3 months, Gangster Circle. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Lovejoy. I appreciate it. Nick Pileggi. Nick Pileggi wrote a blurb. For those of you who read the back of my book, you read the blurb. This is my book, The Accidental Gangster, from Insurance Salesman to Hollywood Fixer. Okay? So you can read everything about me in my book. But today, let's talk about, we go back with the gangsters in Hollywood. Mafia movies are surefire hits in Hollywood. But what about the Hollywood Mafia itself? The mafia rose to power in America on the East Coast during the Prohibition era. After gaining ground there, they naturally decided to expand out west. While the LA mob competes and even coexists with Mexican, Russian, Albanian, and other crime organizations, they are still feared and even revered. Here are a few stories, better than anything in theaters, about why mob bosses still get lots of respect. The meaning of respect. Before we go into these fascinating personalities, let's talk about respect. What is it and who deserves it? Having admiration and deference towards someone or something is in the dictionary definition of respect. Like many things, respect can play out a little differently in the world of the mafia. Mobsters might earn respect through unconventional means. They might follow omerta when the heat is on, or go on a violent spree to keep everyone in line. They might also be a part of the community, regardless of what kinds of laws they break. It can be conflicting when the guy next door takes care of the neighborhood. And folks, that's what we do. Yes. Through good deeds, criminal acts, or inspiring fear, here's a look at why some of the gangsters. All right. Well, I'm going to mention Johnny Roselli, who was from Chicago, from the outfit. He was back here. Bugsy Siegel. Bugsy Siegel, starting the list with a bang. Bugsy Siegel is a legend among notorious legends. He started as a mob enforcer in New York before climbing the ranks to run his own racket. That's why he came out to California. Eventually, he came to the West Coast. He struck with classics, gambling, and bootlegging alcohol. Bugsy went on to co-found the enforcement branch of the mafia known ominously as Murder Inc. Through his powerful connections and ability to act out without impunity, he earned a tainted kind of respect. You all know about Bugsy Siegel. Jack Dragna. Jack Dragna was the boss here when Bugsy came out here. Jack Dragna was a great boss at that time. There's Johnny Joe Dippolito. Pete Milano. I happen to know Pete Milano. He was the boss of Los Angeles until he passed away. I knew him personally. And I'm not going to talk too much about Pete. I didn't really care for him. And I'll tell you that story at another time. Okay, he was the boss, but he's sending words to guys to come talk to me because everybody thought I was the Hollywood mob boss. Okay? People felt I was the boss and not Pete. And I don't understand why or how, but I moved around more. I was out more. I was at the clubs. I was every place you had to go. I was seen out with celebrities and all that thing. And, and I was doing what I said I would do. Then there's Orlando Orange Spado. You all know him. I hope you do. Huh? You wouldn't think that a veteran who sold Prudential Insurance would be a mob boss. You would be wrong. Orlando Spado these days seems like an unassuming, well-dressed gentleman. At one time, he ran with a rough crowd in Los Angeles and has the incredible true stories to prove it. Spado had a knack for making problems of the rich and famous disappear. The LA fixture became known as the Hollywood mob boss. He got to rub elbows with both Hollywood royalty and also the members of several notorious crime families. People from all walks of life respected him, and he was in high demand. These days, people still respect him and seek him out for his amazing tale Los Angeles and true crime. Yesterday, for all you who are here, I spoke about Sonny Franchise, and I knew Sonny for 50 years. Sonny Franchise was the underboss of the Colombo crime family in New York. Was I really friends with Sonny Franchise? And was anybody really friends with Sonny Franchise? That's a question we'll leave wide open there for another time. But the gentleman who was the boss of Palm Springs, California, and the underboss of Los Angeles, his name was Jimmy Caci, C-A-C-I, originally from Buffalo. Jimmy was a drug U.S. man. He was a gentleman. As far as doing time in prison, he probably did as much as Sonny Franchise. But there was a big difference between Sonny Franchise and Jimmy Caci. Jimmy Caci was truly my friend. Actually, more than a friend. He was like a brother to me. We were together 7 days a week. We did a lot of things. Now remember I said he was the boss of Palm Springs. And it was through Jimmy Caci that I met Frank Sinatra. When Frank had a very large gambling debt that he was able to pay, but he couldn't let his wife know about it. And we took care of that there. And I became friends with Frank. Jimmy's brother is known as Bobby Milano. His real name is Charlie Caci. He was a great singer. He opened up for Frank Sinatra at a lot of places. And he was married to Keely Smith. Do we got anybody here who knows who Keely Smith was? Great singer. She was married to Louis Prima. Remember the song, I was once a gigolo, everywhere I go. That was Louis Prima, folks. All right, she was married to him, divorced, and then she married Bobby. I knew Keely very well. Got a million stories on her that I'm going to leave for another time also. I got a lot of stories for a lot of other times. All right, so I apologize that I don't tell them. But Jimmy Scotchy, brother Charlie, was the main man. But Jimmy and I, we made more money together. We made money together. You see the difference? With Sonny, if you made money, you had to kick up to Sonny. But Jimmy and I, we did it together. We were on the streets together. We took care of problems together. That's the difference, folks. And I could trust Jimmy. I could trust him. And I don't trust many people. But Jimmy Conchi was one of them. And through Jimmy, I met Joe Todaro and Joe Todaro's son, Joey. Okay. Joe Todaro was the boss of Buffalo, New York. And then his son became the boss, now retired, living in Florida. I met good people, folks. And it seems like the best people I met, in all honesty, come from upstate New York. For those of you who haven't been upstate New York, it's a wonderful place, wonderful people, and, just, I couldn't take the winters, so I had to get out of there. All right? Wayne, you asked if we have to smack people around. Sometimes you had to do that there. Yes. So we had to do a lot of things. You had to be prepared for everything. But I'm going to tell you something. I got much more done without the gun than I did with the gun. Okay? I collected more money without a gun than I ever did with a gun. Okay? It takes how you talk to people. And you got to respect people. People who owe money, they had a problem. You got to work that problem out. Okay? You got to be able to negotiate it. You got to be able to make everybody happy in a situation like that. But Hollywood has needed people like me from the get go, from the beginning. Because there's so many problems, and probably more problems in Hollywood than any other business. For many reasons. Actors and actresses have egos like you can't believe. Okay? Don't think it's wonderful being around these people because their egos are so inflated, it's unreal. You never could comprehend it. Then there's some that are down to earth, okay? But the majority of them, their egos are out there. They think who the hell they are. Like I care, okay? But working with producers, directors, lawyers. I got to talk about lawyers. There was a time, okay, folks? When I grew up in the town of Rome, New York, when I grew up in New York, Chief, I'm going to answer your question, okay? Give me a few moments here. Um, when I grew up in New York, I can't even remember having a lawyer in our town. I'm sure there was one. Today, everybody's a lawyer, but we don't have any good lawyers no more. Today, all lawyers want to do is settle, settle, settle. All right? Everything that I did, that I got paid for, and I got the people their money quickly and everything. Now they go to lawyers. Now they go to lawyers. They pay the lawyer. Lawyer goes to court. They win money. Then they can't collect the money. Then they want to come to me after they've been to court. Okay? Thank you, Lovejoy, for putting that. Everybody, please like and subscribe. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do, because I got some amazing people that I'm going to be interviewing. I said in the beginning, okay, you don't want to miss it. Actors, actresses, producers, directors, all well-known people that you all heard of, so you watch them on TV. If you watch Tulsa King, you see Frank Grillo. I'll be interviewing him in January. He and I just touched base this morning. He's in Atlanta filming Superman and Tulsa King. Okay? Frank has been in over 100 movies. I'll be interviewing George Gallo, who wrote Midnight Run, Bad Boys, Middlemen, Comeback Trail. I can go on and on. Okay? And he wrote The Accidental Gangster. And will be directing. And Nick Villanova, who won Best Picture of the Year for Green Book. And coming December 4th, not far from now, Elizabeth Hudson, former actress, and now into alchemy. And you're going to have to learn about that there. Okay? Are you into sex? You're going to want to hear what she has to say. Trust me. All right? Okay, I was asked a question. Okay, let me go back to it here. All right. Do I have any regrets? No, folks, I do not have any regrets. Because to me, a regret is a negativity. I can't go back and change the past. Neither can you. We have to accept it. I took full responsibility for everything I'd done in my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I take full responsibility. I'm not like Diddy. Diddy's never taken full responsibility, but I took it. Now, if I had the ability to change things of the past, and I had the ability to go back to change it, yes, there would be many things I would have changed. First and foremost, I would have stayed with my first wife and never left her, okay, or my children. That was probably the biggest mistake I made in my life, okay? Because now here I am. I mean, she's living in Florida. We talk occasionally. Very lovely lady. I got deep respect for her, okay, like you can't believe. Uh, but that was an altering, changing of my entire life. And it was that same period of time I was indicted on another federal case. And it was such a mess in my life. And I was so guilty because of the fact that I left my children. I was the first one in my family to be divorced. That was a no-no, especially in an Italian family. And I did it. So I had a lot of guilt on me. And it took me a long time to get over that because once I realized I can't go back and change it, I wish the hell I could. And I bet you all wish you could go back and change certain parts of your life. But you can't. So you got to think positive, you got to persevere, and you got to keep it moving, as I say, and get ahead. I hope that answers your question, my friend. Okay? Uh, Chief Sir, ask that question. Thank you. All right. So, folks, I don't want to keep you here long today. All right. I come here short. I do short shows, 30 minutes, 40 minutes at the most. Okay. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about Gangsters in Hollywood and Jimmy Conchi. And I want you to Google that name and see who he was. A true gentleman, loved by everybody. Everybody knew who he was. He was a serious guy, okay? But he was a legend out here and in Buffalo, New York. So I wanted to give a tribute to my friend Jimmy, okay? So, folks, I want to thank you all for coming here, all right? You got all my love and respect. And remember, do something nice for other people, and I guarantee it's going to come back to you. Everybody have a great day. Thank you. God bless.